Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to Goose the Grey's solo casts of Challenger games. This time around, couldn't find a pre-made ranked 5s team, so I just went to spectate BenQ Diamond procs and soloqueue. That's the way I wanted to say it. I'm going to be doing a tournament later today, so it's only going to be the one game for tonight, as we are now into the game. We see fairly defensive setups from both teams. Now, let me just give you a quick rundown after I do my icons. There we go. That's one team, and that's team 2. There we go. So, we have a Mundo versus Shyvana up in the top lane. We have Lee Sin versus Olaf in the jungle. Then a Kha'Zix versus Gragas matchup in mid. And a Caitlyn Leona up versus a Lucian Thresh. I'm really interested to see how that mid lane works out. Personally, that is the one I instantaneously put my focus on, because Kha'Zix can just snowball so very, very quickly these days. And in my opinion, he's even more broken in the jungle. He's just one of the top tier junglers right now. But in mid lane, definitely still has a lot of potential, can easily roam to both sides of the map. And if he does well in that mid lane, he can just become a huge force towards the late game. And it'll be very interesting to see what he can make happen with that, whether he can get the resets and snowball his entire team ahead. We do see game has really started off now. Both of the junglers already have cleared their first buffs and will be on their ways towards the top half of the jungle, probably meeting up at the top lane for the first time of this game. Up there it will be Mundo against Shyvana, probably a rather tanky lane where they just bash at each other. Unless the junglers make an appearance very early on, then we could see a snowbally lane there as well. Bot lane should be pretty interesting. Should be a lot of aggression, because Leona as well as Thresh really thrive on being aggressive onto the enemy team. And if you can make a couple of early kills happen, you can then reinforce your dominance in the laning phase for the rest of the game, basically. If you get a couple of early kills with a Thresh Lucian, you just have so much poke potential, so much damage on top of that death sentence, on top of those hooks to catch people out, that you can really just make a lot happen and gather a couple of kills in the laning phase already, and then snowball that lead into the later game. And we see already a lot of damage being done by Thresh and Lucian onto Leona and Caitlyn, and that's really what you want to do when you're up against Leona. You can't just sit there and wait until she engages on you. You have to kind of poke her down a bit until she's so low she doesn't dare engage on you anymore. Lee Sin here, in kind of a great spot. Diamond stole away the red buff? Maybe? Oh, that was the wrong key. No, he didn't steal away the red buff, but Olaf is close on his heels, and we will see the 2v2 up here early on. Nothing much can happen, though. Both the junglers just telling one another that they're there, saying hi. Diamond goes back in. But Caitlyn actually here going very, very low. Has to be careful now. He has a health potion running. Leona blocks the pull, and that was really important. If that had hit onto Caitlyn, of course, Caitlyn would have probably died. Another line shot out of Lucian gets Caitlyn under 100 HP once more, and she's already flashed. She's only got that barrier. Lucian lands a couple nice skill shots. She could still go down, even under her towers. Kha'Zix now with very low mana here. Olaf is sneaking up behind him. This could be a very dead Kha'Zix. 4 first blood. Ignite is going down. Olaf now coming in there. Flash used by Kha'Zix as well. It does look like he's not going to be saved. Gragas flashing with a body slam and does pick up first blood for himself there. Caitlyn went B in the meanwhile, and we already see a huge lead developing in this bottom lane. 23 to 10 CS for Lucian at this time. 22 to 13 in the top lane for Shyvana. And now that Gragas picked up the first kill, that lane is in the red team's favor as well. The red team clearly having the upper hand here for the first couple of seconds, minutes, 4.5 minutes into the game. If this lead keeps snowballing, we could see a very early dragon. If Shyvana makes something happen top, then roams down towards bottom. She is so tanky that, combined with the power of Thresh, Lucian, Olaf, and Gragas, they can very easily take down dragon very, very quickly. And if they keep their advantages on the map, that could be something we may have to look out for here. Gragas and Kha'Zix going at it again. Of course, Kha'Zix was theoretically winning out in that mid lane, but look at him now. The double Dorns plus 2 cloth armor is really working out for Gragas. He's winning the trades. Can he get back the CS differential? It's about 9 CS between the two right now, 10 now. Kha'Zix, however, only got the 2 long swords. As we see, a little bit of fighting in the bot lane. Thresh taking some damage, but it's not going to be too bad for him. He has a Dorn's shield and another health potion, so he's going to be quite okay, sustaining himself back up. As Lucian maintains his CS advantage, and now Leona has to recall. Oh, Kha'Zix, you're very, very low there. Has to back off. Has his ignite. If Gragas had had his there, that would have been another kill. Gragas gonna love that alone time in the lane. Just gonna comfortably be sitting there, farm up a bit. Kha'Zix now chugging his potion. He did start with a crystalline flask, so of course he has a little bit more sustain. Lee Sin now coming in for a gank here. Kha'Zix run very, very low. Has to jump out, but Gragas now in a little bit of trouble. Olaf comes around as well. Gragas is still very low. There's the ignite out of Kha'Zix onto Gragas, and that gives Lee Sin the kill, as Olaf will probably not be able to chase down anything. Directed camera loves these top lane fights between tanky guys, because, you know, that's just the funnest thing to watch. Nothing more gonna happen in the mid lane though. A couple of more axes coming out. Lee Sin and Diamond and Kha'Zix both pretty low here. Does look like they're gonna be safe though. Olaf not tanky enough just yet to dive under the tower. He is level 6, so he could theoretically try. He also has a flash up. Now with the minion wave, that would have been his chance, but he decides to back off. Good call in my opinion. He's still hanging around a little bit. Probably slow now. Oh, is that gonna be the call? There was Olaf. He thought about it for a second, threw another axe. Kha'Zix jumps away. He's going to be all right. Knowing that he forced both the mid laner and the jungler back, Olaf is free to roam into the enemy bottom jungle. Red has, of course, not respawned yet, so we can't take that away. As Leona and Caitlyn actually go in. A lot of damage onto Lucian already. He's down to about 600 health. That's going to be all for now. Leona taking the brunt of the damage on the blue team. Caitlyn back to CSing into the tower. She's 20 CS behind right now. That's quite the difference. The Death Sentence lands. Here's the Ignite. The Flay comes out as well. The Shield of Daybreak landed as well. And there's a flash out of Lucian. Lee Sin was there for the fight. And that's Thresh flashing over the wall. This Lantern's still there. The Explosive Cast picks up one. Can Gragas pick up a second? Caitlyn is very, very low and ignited. Olaf is here for the party as well. Caitlyn is still alive. Puts out another hit. Not going to be able to live though. Kha'Zix didn't follow. And Gragas, that was a 4-man stack in the bot lane with Gragas there as well. And the blue team had nothing to put against that, so it was a 2-for-0 exchange at the end of the day, and that makes it 3-for-1 overall. Nicely played by the red team. They're like, okay, we forced jungler and mid laner back. Let's invade into their bottom half of the jungle. I'm pretty sure they took the red away as well. Let me get rid of. See, there we see. Yes, Olaf did indeed take away the red buff. So that's not going to be there for Lee Sin to take. And afterwards, they just went to the bot lane, stacked up there, got themselves 2 nice little kills. This is just consolidating their advantage. They're now at 1,100 gold ahead. Lucian with almost double the CS. Still pretty even on items, though. About 400 gold between the two. Point of time. That's basically paying for the Berserker Screeves. Leona now actually getting in behind them. This could be another threat. No. Lucian dashes away. Is going to be safe. Puts a double shot back onto Leona. Death Sentence lands actually. Here's the Flay as well. Leona taking a huge amount of damage. Thresh also taking a little bit of punishment out of Caitlyn. But Leona definitely lower on health. And Leona needs the health more. She's the one that has to engage. She's the one that has to go into melee range. Thresh can always sit back, throw out his death sentences, and when they connect, then he can go in. Whereas Leona, the entire time, she's always in danger of getting poked down, especially since she has that Targon's Brace. She has to go into melee range to execute minions. Oh, here we have a gank in the top lane. Flash forced off Shyvana. They're gonna dive this. Lee Sin actually going very low there under the tower, and they have to back off. Nice try. Well played by Shyvana to stay alive there. Good flash. Keeping herself safe. Did not use the Dragon's Descent. She still could have used that as well. In mid lane, Gragas pushing under the tower. Has now gotten back. This early CS differential is now 11 ahead. Has a blue buff on himself as well. So mid lane going quite well for him. Of course, he did just pick up another kill in the bot lane as well. So he's now 2-1-1. Has the item advantage over Kha'Zix. A little bit, in my opinion. The cloth armor is doing really huge work for him. Of course, the Dorn's rings giving him more survivability. Also very, very nice. So looking around the dragon. There's a ward over the wall. Shyvana is getting dived again here, and she has to survive. Mundo is tanking that tower. Mundo, of course, such a beast early on, but Shyvana, once again, surviving the tower dash. She's doing really well for herself here, keeping 2 men busy, and that's the sign for Olaf to just take down Dragon, and it does look like it's going to be uncontested. No, Kha'Zix wants to make something happen. He's pretty low, though. This could go pretty badly for the blue team. There he jumps in, tries to get in onto Olaf, flashes there, gets the kill. Very nicely done, but Gragas is around the corner as well. Meanwhile, Caitlyn forced out of the bottom lane, and now Kha'Zix has to run by Thresh. Is he going to manage that? Yes, the death sentence lands. Gragas wants to finish off Dragon. Does look like he'll be able to. So that was a trade Dragon for a kill. That's pretty okay. Not the best trade in the world. Could have been better. Olaf didn't need to die. Shyvana forces Mundo into flashing away. We actually see a Mundo here with a flash instead of a ghost, which is what I more commonly would expect. But the early dominance from the red team seems to continue a bit. Oh, Lee Sin in the top lane. This is going to be another gank. Nice kick out there, and that's going to be a kill. Good job, Diamond Prox. That was exactly the thing you needed to do. Picking up another kill in the top lane. And Lee Sin, of course, one of the early game junglers, already 2-0-0. Picked up the boots on mobility. Death Sentence lands. The flay comes out as well. There's the box. Caitlyn, already level 6. Yes, she is, and she has to flash out of that box. No other way to get out of there. Had already used the 90 caliber net. Didn't want to risk going down there. Express to make something happen with the Gragas. He does, of course, have a red buff. Gragas with a nice explosive cast. Knocks him back onto the tire. This is going to be a kill for Gragas. Beautifully done. Completely outplayed Kha'Zix there. Of course, he does already have a needlessly large rod and that Seeker's arm guard, so a lot of armor, a lot of AP, already doing quite the damage, and he did have a blue buff. Kha'Zix not able to survive that, but now here, this is the gank. The Solar Flare comes out, the Zenith Blade goes in as well, Shield of Daybreak, nothing Lucian can do to survive that. Diamond Prox just doing work all over the map wherever he goes. Enemies die. 3-0-0 now with the Boots of Mobility, really making them count. He's everywhere, apparently. Olaf picked up the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. It's a very nice item, gives him a little bit of extra gold then, and makes him a lot tankier. So I can see where he's coming from with that. He's just not being quite as impactful as Lee Sin, who's going around everywhere, just demolishing people. First tower of the game went down in that mid lane. Red team happy to pick that one up for themselves. Gragas just went back, finished his Zanya's Hourglass. We have an almost completed Blade of the Rune King on Shyvana. We have an almost completed Sunfire Cape on Mundo. And of course, once Mundo gets a Spirit Visage and a Sunfire Cape, that is when he becomes truly terrifying. He'll have a lot of AoE damage, a lot of permanent sustained damage, and be just a meat wall you can barely kill. And I really like the Blade of the Rune King from Shyvana there, because of course it does percentage health. And that's really going to be one thing to help shredding down that Mundo, and it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the team does in order to deal with it. So back to the farming game. We have about 1,700 gold between the two teams in favor of the red team. 4-4 in kills, 1-0 in towers, so it's still anyone's game. The team can come back really easily, especially with all the work Diamond has been doing. Keeps that up. This is still anyone's game. Mimir in the top lane, of course, doing pretty well for himself. Has about a 10 CS lead, and once he has that Blade of the Rune King completed, should do a little more, but he's catching a lot of these championship cups that Mundo is throwing out. Quite a chunk of damage to him. Of course, also doing percentage health damage. So Mundo going to be very happy chucking those out all day, every day. Saw another small invade there from Olaf towards the red buff. Lee Sin is going to be able to pick that up for himself, though. Team's blue buff is going to go over to Gragas. He's going to be happily taking that, throw out more barrels. He's been spamming all game, and it's really been doing great work for him. He's been winning the duels against Kha'Zix consistently. Can keep that up. It's going to be a great game for them. Wilson looking to make a move towards the bot lane once more, and we see a fight in the top lane. Actually, Ignite went down on Mundo, but we also have a fight in the bot lane. Solo Flare coming out. The Zenith Blade was there as well. Thresh pretty alone there, and it's now a 2v3, and Thresh is left to die, is going to go down here. Lucian keeping himself safe. Mundo was able to walk away in the top lane. That's another kill for the blue team. Another kill onto Diamond Prox. 4-0-0. 63 CS here. Really making things happen all over the place. Sadly, Dragon is not up for the blue team to be taken. That would have been nice timing. Of course, the red team seizing the moment of opportunity, invading onto the blue team's blue buff. Shyvana and Olaf over there. Gragas also in the jungle. So very nice move by them to read the fact that they had an advantage there on the map, as now Lee Sin meets Olaf in the jungle. Olaf already doing a lot of damage. Gragas coming over. Explosive cast coming out. Doing a lot of damage here. And Shyvana comes down as well. That's going to be a dead Lee Sin. He did not think they were there, and they just surprised him. Came out of nowhere. Of course, 3 members also very, very hard to escape from it. Now Gragas in the mid lane chasing down onto Kha'Zix. Barrel lands. Do believe Kha'Zix will be okay here, though. He should still have his jump. Beastlam comes out. The ultimate actually used by Kha'Zix. There was a pink ward though, so Olaf, Gragas could still see him. Now Kha'Zix is on stealth. There is a Lucian in that bot lane, but he's not moving yet. There are Thresh and Lucian. The jump comes out as the flash came out as well. The death sentence came, and Kha'Zix flashing away from that, keeping himself safe very nicely. Good job. Kha'Zix and Leona just deciding to retreat. Gragas going to stick around, clear that wave out. Red team trying to push a little bit. Thresh is actually behind enemy lines there. The ward a little bit late, and he's gonna find Caitlyn in that bush, but Kha'Zix is still around. Thresh has to be careful here. The death sentence landed, and there's the lantern to get Gragas in. The Lee Sin is in the party as well. Thresh just gonna go down there very, very quickly, but now Olaf and Lucian there to join the party. Who will die here? Lucian racing instantly onto Caitlyn. She does still have that barrier, survives forever, and the barrel finally takes her out. Now onto Diamond. They're diving. Olaf tanks the tower, and there's Gragas. Another flash out of Lee Sin, keeps himself safe for the time being, but Olaf is still there. Olaf now very low. Leona is back in the mix. She has her Solar Flare, Flash, and Ignite up, so if she can catch onto anyone, that could be a large amount of damage and crowd control in very short time. Lee Sin is going to be safe, though, running away from Lucian. Kha'Zix and Leona now going on to Gragas. Great Zanya, shielding himself from a lot of the Kha'Zix damage and the Solar Flare. Now he's not alone anymore. Lucian is back around, and Kha'Zix has to jump away to keep himself safe and not die to this. Nicely done. Good Zanyas, really. That was what completely saved him there. If he had gotten hit by the Solar Flare, that would have killed him. Lucian now building towards the Bloodthirster as fast as he can. Caitlyn just picked hers up. Leona actually going for a very early face of the mountain. Not the most efficient choice, because it only really does good work for you after you've picked up some health. And it costs you over 1,000 gold, so that's quite the huge investment for barely any shield value. And in my opinion, she should have waited a bit for that. Maybe picked up a Sightstone or something beforehand. Get a little bit more health before picking up something that scales off of your health. So that's going to be another dragon for the red team. Third one of this game. They've had complete dragon control all game. Of course, Mimir keeping up a lot of pressure in that top lane. Has now finished up that Blade of the Ruined King and has a Negatron cloak in there as well, whereas Mundo only has that Sunfire cape. Negatron not only helping against the Sunfire cape damage, but also against the damage out of Mundo's Cleaver and the Burning Agony and all of his other skills. Gragas now 1v2 in this mid lane. Is he going to be able to escape? Leona's coming up there as well. Great explosive cast, but there's a Leona coming for him still. And he does manage to go over the wall. The Solar Flare comes out. That's a lot of skills used just for this Gragas, but he is going to go down, give a 500 gold shutdown over to Lee Sin. He's going to love that. Mundo had to retreat from Shyvana, so Shyvana really dominating that top lane as well. Top tower not going to live that much longer. He's just proxy farming here. Evil Mimir. But he's going to be quite happy. Of course, there is no dragon to be taken for the blue team. This is really what's been hurting them. Every now and then they make great catches, they make good plays, but there aren't really that many objectives for them to be taking. And now they stack with 4 men in the mid lane, and Olaf has to back off here. That's going to be a tower for the blue team. Finally making it 1-1 in towers. Evening up the gold lead a little bit. It's 1,600 gold in favor of the red team. Morel and Omicron now done on Gragas, and that's... I'm pretty sure that's specifically aimed against low HP lifesteal out of Kha'Zix, which isn't happening. Oh, we see Caitlyn actually getting caught out. Flashes away. The Zenith Blade comes in, keeping Caitlyn safe for now. And all of a sudden, Thresh is in a lot of trouble. Olaf has to get Caitlyn here to make that worth it. And Gragas now coming in. Great explosive cast. Olaf retreating. Lee Sin still goes in, picks up a kill. Kha'Zix here with low mana, so he can't really do too much. Kha'Zix had good amounts of mana there. That could have been a lot more devastating. But he couldn't use his skills in order to get the kills and then the resets and then jump all over the place. Gragas going to be happily surviving, but that was a 1-for-2 trade again, and the red team thought they had an advantage, and all of a sudden there were just more members than they had accounted for. They did lose more than they had hoped. Now Lee Sin going to be kicking Gragas over that wall, but Gragas still has his dash. His body slam got back over the wall, but Lee Sin still chasing him down. This is going to be dead Gragas. No more skills to get away. Nice play from Diamond there, putting the ward over the wall, then dashing to it. Safeguard used for its maximum potential. And as we take a look across the board, really, the main differences in the bot lane. Look at that, 90 to 147 CS. In the mid lane, it's mainly the 5 kills for Gragas, whereas Kha'Zix has only had 2. But Kha'Zix now has a Last Whisper, a Hex Drinker, and a Brutalizer. If he keeps this up, he'll soon become a true terror. And he's been getting closer to that point where he really snowballs far ahead and can 100 to 0 the squishier targets. A saving grace here for the red team is that they don't really have that many squishy targets. The only one that could count into that category is Lucian. Gragas already has his Anya's Hourglass. That's going to keep him safe from some of the burst. Then of course he has the 2 Doran's Rings. That's going to be nice for him as well. So Kha'Zix really only has 1 main target he wants to assassinate. Lucian, after picking up that Bloodthirster, is now going for the Trinity Force. Has already picked up the Phage. kind of interesting. Generally, we see if there's a Bloodthirster as first item, we see a complete fighting build. But here's the culling. Caitlyn going very, very low. Can Lucian still finalize this? Dashes forward. The trap is not getting him, and that's going to be a dead Caitlyn. Nicely done by Lucian there. Completely outplayed Caitlyn. 50 CS ahead, of course. So that's really making a big difference there. He's got a phage on Caitlyn. Or rather, half a phage, since she already has the longsword. She's likely not going to build a phage, though. Not the best item on Caitlyn. I'd expect her to either build Phantom Dancers, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, something along those lines. That would be much more beneficial to her. Gragas clearing out the minion wave. Also has a nice little CS lead over Kha'Zix. 24 at this time. So he's going to be liking that. Shyvana, of course, also 20 CS ahead of Munda. That's where this gold lead is coming from. Currently 1.6 thousand. Even though they're two kills down. Towers are even. Look at the items here. Munda now has the Sunfire Cape and the Spirit Visage done. Dragon is up in 1 minute 45 seconds. So that's going to be the next point of contestation. And Mundo still has that teleport, and we haven't really seen him use it so far in the game. He just used it to get top, I believe. But not had that much influence with this teleport as he could have. Mainly because Shyvana was constantly there, constantly pushing him back. He didn't have time to roam around and go to other lanes. Now there's a big stack from the red team in the mid lane. 3 men there. Thresh was clearing out wards. And Caitlyn is still towards the bottom lane, so the red team definitely at an edge here. Maybe they can already chunk down this middle tower's HP. A nice little amount. Lee Sin clearing out that pink ward back there, but that means the red team has vision on him, and there's a ward over there in the brush in the jungle as well, so they knew where Leona was. Now Lee Sin coming around. Nice kick onto Lucian. Perfectly done. And there's the Zenith blade out of Leona. Shield of Daybreak. Great explosive cast, splitting everyone apart. The solo player, and now comes Kha'Zix. He will not get a kill. Wow, a double kill from Gragas. What a barrel. What a fight. One single kill went over to Kha'Zix, but that's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange here. Beautifully done by the red team. They fought that so well, making everything count for them. Shyvana was there as well while Mundo was still up in the top lane. That's going to be a tower, maybe even 2 towers for them. They can keep pushing here. Still 4 members down for the blue team. Leona still dead for quite a while, and that was just a great comboing of abilities. The explosive cast was so crucial, splitting the entire blue team apart, and then the red team could take their targets, and they made it count. Gragas with that double kill there, and now there's only Mundo in the backline. They've taken out 2 towers here. Not gonna get the inhibitor this time around. They can back off, fight another day, stay safe. But Leona and Lee Sin are looking for blood here. The red team isn't very quick with retreating. Thresh doesn't have the Talisman of Ascension yet, and those championship cups really slowing people down. Thresh going over the wall, nicely done there. The dash from Lucian, of course, also keeping them safe. There's the lantern for Shyvana, getting her out of the fray. Lee Sin now looking for blood. He's alone though. They are going to be able to back away safely. Of course, Dragon just spawned, so the blue team wants to chase the red team off here, so they can take that completely uncontested. 3 dragons have already gone over. Oh my god, Kha'Zix actually deleting Gragas up towards that top after Zhonya's came out. It's not going to be enough. Kha'Zix now with the reset has the opportunity to make more happen. The culling came out. Shyvana going to be kept safe by a nice Thresh Lantern, as Olaf has to use the Ragnarok trying to escape, but it's not going to matter. He's too low at HP, and somebody will surely take him down. There was a slow, and Kha'Zix picks up that kill. Nicely done by the blue team. They're chasing down and not relenting, picking up 2 kills for themselves at the end of that day, and now they're just going to rush for Baron. Nice call here. There are only 3 members up from the red team, and they're all in the base. Who can stop them? Kha'Zix has so much damage right now. He's 5-3-4, has the Last Whisper and that Brutalizer plus a pickaxe already completed. And look at this, Baron going down very fast. Caitlyn finally there as well, doing nice amounts of damage. But Mimer is over the wall, doesn't have a smite, but he goes in there anyway. Tries to take down Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is going to be safe. Shyvana does get him at the end. There's a dragon smited away by Lee Sin. So kill for a Baron. That's not too bad. Maybe Kha'Zix could have managed to survive that, but it was not meant to be. Still completely worth it. They're going to be happy with that. And red team may just look to take down Dragon. They're still pretty strong though. If the red team can choose their fights, they have a Shyvana with the Blade of the Ruined King and a Spirit Visage plus a Chain Dance. They have an Olaf with a Randuin's Omen, almost a Spirit Visage and the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Then they have a Gragas with a Death Cap, a Zhonya's Hourglass and Morellonomicon, a Lucian with a Phage and a Sheen on top of that Bloodthirster. He's almost, he's almost got the Zeal done, but not the 3 just quite yet. And then they have a Thresh with Talisman of Ascension. So if they can pick their fight, if they can catch someone up from the blue team, they can easily make something happen here. The item difference is apparent. Although Caitlyn, of course, going for a cheaper item, had the item advantage over Lucian for now. For the time being, once Lucian completes that Trinity Force, going to be much harder for her. Even harder for her to 1v1 him. As here we see a nice move. Thresh with the Talisman of Ascension. Is Caitlyn going to be able to get away from this? She will lose her Baron here. There's nothing she can do. 3 members of the red team there to pick up that kill. Lucian was behind them as well. Shyvana actually chasing off Kha'Zix. And Shyvana can 1v1 a Kha'Zix at this time. That's not a problem. Who is going to deal with Shyvana? She's been pushing Mundo out of that lane. Now she's pushing Kha'Zix out of the lane. Kha'Zix is 5-4-4. He should be the most fed member, aside from Lee Sin, of course. Diamond Proc's doing very, very well for himself here. 8-2-4 with 100 CS. So now down in the bot lane. Wants to protect that tower. Takes a decent amount of damage for his troubles. The rest of the red team just retreating. Leona and Lee Sin were around there as well, but no damage to follow it up. Caitlyn and Kha'Zix were at home. Who will be able to win out in the next big fight? That is the question here. Top tower going down 6 towers to 2 now in favor of the red team. There's 6,000 gold ahead as well, so they've been consolidating their advantages and making them count. Now they have to be careful though. The explosive cast not hitting Kha'Zix at all, but there's Thresh with the box. Another barrel hit, and now Gragas really has to make it happen. They have to take out that Kha'Zix before he comes back and kills them basically. Kha'Zix very low, but finally Olaf is in the mix as well, and now the blue team on the retreat again. Caitlyn was not with them at this time, and a 3v4, they're still losing simply due to the item difference between the two teams. Now Lee Sin coming around there as well. The culling was just used. Olaf still very deep behind enemy lines. He just got himself completely caught out there, and that's not something that is allowed to happen at this point. Kha'Zix is gonna take that down. Gonna be very happy with that. And now comes the fight. The red team getting demolished here. The resets coming in for Kha'Zix. That's gonna be another kill there. Gragas has nothing to get away from that. Lee Sin wasn't quite able to get Lucian, but that was a 3-for-0 exchange simply because Olaf overstayed his welcome, and then the rest of the team didn't want to leave him to die and tried to save him. Not the best choice they've made this game. Then again, a very nice call from the blue team. When to fight, they know exactly what they can do right now. And Lee Sin, of course, with the Sunfire Cape, Spirit of the Ancient Golem, the Spectre's Cowl, the Sight Stone, and the Mobility Boots. So strong and making the plays here all the time. But of course, Kha'Zix now 8-4-4 has also been doing really, really well. And these two guys are carrying their team to victory. They're now on the inhibitor tower. Soon gonna take that out, but Shyvana goes in. Kha'Zix jumping out. Mundo's still tanking the tower. And Thresh. Does look like the blue team will have to back away here. Can't quite get that tower down, so the red team still with a decent advantage. 2,500 gold between the two teams now. 14-16 kills in favor of the blue team, of course. And 6-4 in towers in favor of the red team. There's a fairly big stack of minions in the mid lane. You could almost get dangerous with the inhibitor, but the blue team already recalling are going to be able to defend that quite easily. And I really like the fact that Thresh is currently building towards that Mikhail's Crucible. He needs it. He needs to be able to free Lucian and Gragas from that solo flare, from all the crowd control that is coming out of the blue team. Else they risk getting picked off, and that's really been their bane. They have Olaf who can free himself from crowd control, so that's really nice against them. But they need more. They need that Mikhail's Crucible in order to free their carries who have no other inherent escapes from crowd control, and it has to happen soon. Because last fight we saw what happens if the red team doesn't fully commit / overextends and then tries to save their caught teammates, and it just goes very, very badly for them, and they can't afford to do that again. 2 minutes until Dragon spawns. Don't think that's going to be the main focus here, as Baron should only be about the same time away, really. There we go. 2 minutes on Baron. My math isn't completely off yet. Lee Sin, they're standing on top of a ward. Gragas, of course, doing the same. So both of these guys know where the other one is. There's a barrel. That tells Lee Sin that they know where he is. He's going to take out that big ward. Baron in 1 minute, 40 seconds. That's going to be the next big fight. And we see Kha'Zix realizes he has to be a little tank here. Surprisingly, not building the Guardian Angel, just going for a Randuin's Omen, which is also a really good choice. He's going to jump into the middle of the enemy team. And then there's a Shyvana, an Olaf, a Gragas who's melee, and a Lucian. All of those guys are heavily affected by the Randuin's Omen. Thresh now has finished that Mikhail's Crucible. That's going to be really, really nice for him. Olaf, of course, also has a Randuin's Omen and now finished that Spirit Visage as well. Shyvana is getting tankier and tankier. She has Spirit Visage, Sunfire Cape, and a Giant Spell on top of course, that Blade of the Rune King, giving her a little bit of damage. On the other side, we also see 2 Spirit Visages, 2 Sunfire Capes on Mundo and Lee Sin respectively. And here's the fight. The axe lands. Leona going in. Leona getting caught here by the death sentence. That's a lot of damage very quickly. She's pretty low, but she's able to escape for now. And there comes Lucian. Leona's still alive. Kha'Zix jumping onto Lucian is going to be fine. Gragas has to ult as has to Zhonya's. And Kha'Zix just demolishing the backlines here. There's nothing the red team can do there. In full retreat, basically. Mimer, the only one that's still in there. But he can't do anything. Diamond's still healthy. Caitlyn's still alive. Kha'Zix still alive. Mundo just being that huge meat wall in the front. That ace in the hole beautifully blocked by Lucian. Keeping Shyvana alive there. Putting a couple hits back onto Mundo. But blue team coming out ahead once more. In a 2-for-1 exchange, Leona went down. But she survived for so long. She was the main tank, basically, taking all of that damage. But the Aegis, on top of that, Face of the Mountain, plus the Ruby Sightstone and the Ninja Taba were enough to keep her alive for so long there. That she was really able to make a lot happen with her crowd control. And now Dragon is up, and it's only 3 seconds until Baron is up. Lee Sin is around there. We see pings from both teams coming out on that. Shyvana is at Dragon, though. And, one of the 2 teams isn't careful. This could very quickly lead to a huge disadvantage for them. We see the Randuin's Omen done for Kha'Zix. He picks up a red elixir as well. So a tiny amount of extra damage in the next fight because it's going to mean everything. Whoever wins the Baron fight will control the next couple of minutes of the game. Of course, the blue team currently at an advantage as Gragas and Lucian have just gone back, as well as Shyvana. But I don't think they can capitalize on that just yet. Lee Sin currently going back. Blue team has to be careful here. Sending your jungler back at such a time can be very risky. But the bot lane is pushing in the blue team's favor. If they can just stall out that Baron dance a little bit, that will be helping them, putting extra pressure on down in that bottom lane. Everyone dances around carefully. Lucian now has the Trinity Force completed, has the last Whisper in there as well. Gragas finished a Void Staff on top of everything else. Going to be doing more penetration damage now. Shyvana almost with a Randuin's Omen. Mundo the same. And Lee Sin also only getting tankier at this time. Caitlyn is building towards those Phantom Dancers, I believe, or a Static Shiv. I would recommend the Phantom Dancer, though. They don't really need that much more wave clear. They need to be able to dish out more damage in the team fight. And for that, Phantom Dancer is definitely stronger. I keep wanting to call the things that Mundo throws cleavers, but they're really not cleavers in this game. They're just championship cups. Here, there might be the fight. Gragas going very aggressive there. Body slam forward, almost getting himself caught out a little bit. Lee Sin fighting it out against Olaf. All of these guys so tanky, but that pulled out the Randuin's Omen out of Olaf. That could be the deciding advantage in the next fight. It's little things like these that can matter just a huge amount, and the red team doesn't quite want to fight that. The Mikhail's Crucible isn't up, the Randuin's Omen is now down. The Explosive Cast not hitting anything, and this is the signal for the blue team to turn up the aggression. They're now chasing into the base. Lee Sin diving under that tower. Has to keep himself safe though. Gets hit by the death sentence. And there's Kha'Zix jumping into the backline. Instant Zhonya's from Gragas. Keeps himself safe for that time being. But Leona under the tower now going to get taken out. Kha'Zix has nothing to do against 3 people at the same time. Lee Sin, of course, also taken out. And Caitlyn taken out there in the backlines by Shyvana, and now Mundo has nowhere to go. He's going to go down. A 5-for-1. Almost a clean ace. Only Olaf going down there for the red team. That was a beautiful fight for them. The Explosive Cask was completely wasted at first, and the blue team thought they had an advantage. Then went very deep under the tower. Lee Sin was completely out of position, going way too deep there, and then Kha'Zix tried to get onto Gragas. A beautiful Zhonya saving Gragas for long enough that they could then turn around and one by one pick off the members of the blue team, getting out hugely ahead in that fight, picking up 5,000 gold lead once more. And now Baron, that's going to stretch the gold lead a little bit more. There we go, about 6.5, a little more than 6,500 at this point. Middle inhibitor, of course, is still up, but it is exposed. And now with that Baron buff, that's going to be the next focus for the red team. Still 6-4 in towers. It's been that way for a while now. 20-19 in kills. That swung back. It was the blue team leading in kills for the most part of this game. No more. No more. That 5-4-1 exchange sealed the deal. This is a very tense situation. We now see even more Randuin's Omens coming out. There are 4 Randuin's Omens in the game, 4 Spirit Visages, 3 Sunfire Capes, and I assume Olaf is going to build that next as well. He's already got the Giant Spell. Lee Sin also already has a Warden's Mail, and since Frozen Heart doesn't do as much for him, I'd expect him to go for a random summon as well. That would make it 5. It's quite the popular item these days. It's very strong. Very useful, especially against AD heavy teams or all-in teams, because you can keep yourself safe, prevent them from chasing you for a bit. Lee Sin here all alone has to use the Dragon's Rage kick to get Olaf out of there, out of his face. It's going to be a blue buff secured for Gragas. Both of these teams now don't want to make a deciding mistake, but here's Shyvana racing onto Caitlyn, going very aggressive here. Lee Sin also just around there. The rest of the red team not quite following up. Gragas is still quite far, but the rest of the team is close. Kha'Zix is also far away. So if they can make this happen, Kha'Zix is the driving force of the blue team. And there's Leona already going very low. The Soloqueue came out. Not going to be enough. She goes down. And by the time Kha'Zix arrives to the fight, it's already a 5v4. Gragas is now there as well. Olaf tanking up the tower forever and a day. Nice explosive cast. This time hitting out Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix going very low. The Culling going to take him down. Lucian picking up that kill for himself. Shyvana taking the tower now. Caitlyn going down to Lucian as well. And that's another 3-for-0 exchange so far. Surely there's going to be one more kill or two. No, they're just going to push in onto these towers. Try to take something out. They have to kill the inner tower first before they can go onto the inhibitor tower. There it goes. Gragas taking the lantern real quick. 4-for-0. Beautiful fight by the red team. They knew what they can do. They caught the blue team out of position. Rest hard and made it count for themselves. Kazanya is still not used from Gragas, so you can still use that on this aggression. That's one inhibitor down. It's going to be a second one here in the mid lane. Dragon is back up in 50 seconds, but I don't think that's going to be the main focus here anymore. Now that the red team has such an overwhelming advantage, they're 11,000 gold in the lead. 8-4 towers, 2 inhibitors down, 24-19 kills. And now is really the time when it counts. Lucian now building towards the Infinity Edge. Already has a BF sword and a pickaxe done for himself. Oh, they try to catch up Mundo, and Mundo does get knocked back by the explosive cast. There's the Soloqueue. The Culling coming out though. Mundo going very low. The hook still landing on him. He's going to go down now. Leona in trouble. And this is dangerous when the big tanks go down that quickly. The rest of the team is kind of left exposed. And this now enables the red team to push in again. The Baron region already getting them up quite high again. Olaf, of course, the only one without a Baron buff, and now Kha'Zix getting chased out of his own base. There's Caitlyn still alive, hiding at her 1 tower. But this means that the Nexus towers will be under attack here. There's an okay minion wave, but that's going to be first Nexus tower down, second one under assault. Can they defend this? No, Caitlyn goes down extremely quickly. It deleted basically from the map. That's going to be game here. The second Nexus tower going down in just a couple of seconds. Kha'Zix going down to the enemy team. Red team completely overwhelming here. And Lee Sin is just surfing around a little bit, chasing around his own base. That's going to be game for the red team. Beautifully done here. GG well played. Strong plays all the time, and they caught the blue team out of position, knew what they could do, were confident in their strengths, and that will give them a victory. Alright, that concludes it for now. I have to get ready for tournament games that are coming up soon. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and for some reason the client window is really small. It's kind of odd, but yeah, I hope you liked it. Subscribe, like, give me feedback. You can follow me on Twitter in the description. And thanks for watching. See you next time.